Hello and welcome to yet another dimension. I am Jeremy, the sexiest man alive, and the second sexiest man alive, Andrew.
I am vengeance.
He is. Wait, where's your mask at?
I'm
You
not,
don't have a mask?
I'm not, dude. I'm not Batman.
You are. It's so obvious you're Batman.
Dude,
We can
I
see
am-
the lower half of your face.
What are you talking
It's
about?
the same beard.
I'm not
teeth.
Batman.
Okay.
I'm not Batman.
But today we are reviewing the Batman.
Morbius.
Okay, what's the difference really?
We didn't
The
see
Morbius.
yet. And we're not gonna see Morbius probably unless
No.
we really want to shit on another. I can't handle another bad movie this year though. But we just watched
The Batman.
The Batman,
Not Batman.
not Batman 1989.
Just the Batman, not the Batman.
You know, I'm okay with this one.
Mhm.
I
am okay with
I'm
it.
always like a bitch about the fucking titles, like the Suicide Squad. But that came out like what, 5 years after Suicide Squad? That's why I was
That is
mad.
true. Yes.
I mean, there hasn't been a movie that's just Batman since 1989. Okay, it's 2022. Big gap. I mean, not that big a gap because I was born 93, which really isn't that much later than 1989. And
It's
I
not,
mean,
really, it's pretty
2022 is basically like.
You're getting deep into this.
Point is,
this
it's not that
title.
long ago, but it's long enough and it's fine. And I don't have a problem with the Batman, the title.
And what was your expectations coming in? Because you are the biggest Batman fan. Wait, hold
I
on.
don't really
Spider-Man or Batman?
Batman.
Yep, me. It's my favorite.
I mean, I don't
superhero
really
to
like-
actually have a shirt.
I don't like Batman that much.
Only a little bit. This is my stuff. We actually stole this from a kid outside.
Yeah.
We
Beat
killed
his ass.
killed his parents and took
Fucking
his books.
nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he never comes back and have it like take a revenge on us. You know,
That would be poetic.
poetic.
Yeah. I do love Batman.
Mm-hmm.
My expectation for this film, I definitely look. When I first heard that they were doing this, a solo Batman movie a couple years ago, and this movie had a long journey too because it was it meant to be for Ben Affleck originally.
Oh, it was?
Oh yeah. They was like they were gonna make a solo Ben Affleck
Glad
movie
it didn't happen.
with Ben Affleck like writing, starring, directing in it, and he was gonna be facing against Deathstroke. And I mean, they had Deathstroke in the Justice League movie, which I think was supposed to be like setting him up for the Batman movie with Ben Affleck. Anyway, obviously that all fell apart. Their DC universe.
I'm actually glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, but like what happened was I think like Ben Affleck they ended up bringing in Matt Reeves to help the script for Ben Affleck, and then they ended up just saying fuck Ben Affleck no more, and Matt Reeves just did his own thing, and then that's what we got. So at first I was just kind of like, well, okay, I don't know if we need another rebooted version.
Yeah, I wasn't
you know?
really excited when I first heard about it.
Yeah,
It's like another reboot. Like
I mean,
another Joker.
yeah, we'll get to that.
One day, yeah.
But I after a couple years went by, I kind of forgot that it was happening, and then like they started announcing casting decisions for him. I'm like, oh, this movie is still actually happening. They're like Robert Pattinson's Batman, and I'm like, what? Like,
Twilight guy.
it was a weird choice for me because even though I'd already seen him in a couple movies by that point that were like different.
Yeah, Lighthouse.
Well, I can't remember if he got cast before Lighthouse or not. But either way, I mean, I'd seen him be outside of Twilight and be like decent, right?
Yeah, he's a good actor. No,
But I was
not.
just
He's
more
not a
like,
joke. He's
Was
not a
he
joke.
Batman?
Yeah.
Was my thing, and I was kind of like not sold on the news at first. Then the trailer dropped, and I have to say, I was like, all right, this looks like a legit movie.
Yeah.
Like this looks like a legit
It
vision.
has a style. It has a vision, as you said once. It has an actual vision. I can see where they're going with it, and I was excited for it too. So,
Yeah.
And I've actually never seen a Matt Reeves movie. I've never seen none of the Planet of the Apes or Let Me In. So this is my first time ever seeing it. Is this something similar he does, or is this just like a different?
This is way different.
Okay.
Like Planet of the Apes. I mean, like the first Rise of the Planet of the Apes is more just like your kind of like generic sci-fi, but it's about like James Franco's character who's like a scientist. Bond. He essentially creates the Planet of the Apes by like giving the apes like a whatever makes them autonomous or whatever, and he bonds with Caesar, his like experiment pet whatever, who ends up being like the leader of the Planet of the Apes. It's pretty crazy. And it's cool, like there's like a slow progression over each movie, but none of them are like film noir. I wouldn't
this
say.
is definitely film
Oh
noir.
yeah, this one it's very much like a old police detective drama, and it's so
And
cool.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. So overall thoughts on the Batman before we get into spoilers.
Yeah,
What
so
you think of
spoiler
it?
free review. This was a great movie, and I mean I kind of expected it to be at least pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the ending's a little wimpy, but overall, I mean this is a movie that's 3 hours long, but I don't think it dragged. I wasn't bored.
No, I wasn't bored either.
It's so beautiful to look at. All performances, I thought, from like the lead actors down to like even the Penguin, which is like weird to see Penguin in a supporting role, but I think it's done well. And I mean, people get worried when they're like, "Oh, there's 3 villains in a movie. How could this ever work?" But I mean, Catwoman's not really a villain. And two, I think they balanced the characters so well in this movie. Like everyone just had like they all were part of the actual
They had their
story
moment,
being told,
and it made sense. It was interwoven very, very well.
Yeah,
You know, and they went back to one villain, and they went back to. I mean, we have the main villain, which is the Riddler.
yeah.
He's throughout the whole entire movie, but then they set up for the next movie with Penguin and all that. So
Yeah. See, this is how you do it. You just don't have everybody with a tragic backstory or whatever. They don't all have to be super fleshed out. Some of them can just be minor supporting roles, and it works super well in this movie. So, I mean, the visual style, holy
Bro,
hell, man!
look,
This movie
man.
looks so good.
this is what I want Batman. This is what I envision Batman to look like. Film noir, grimy, dirty, the like Victorian, the actual great Victorian architecture. Look, like you said, he said it
Yeah.
looked like he lives in a castle.
Yeah,
So
like
great.
they shot
I
it
love
in London, and I think that definitely helps
It's
because all the
perfect for it. Mm-hmm.
buildings are gothic and stuff. And yeah, like when they first show the inside of his house, it looks like Dracula's castle.
Yeah.
I was just like, was like in awe.
Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting that really.
I wasn't either.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be more like the Christopher Nolan, more contemporary. Just looks like just New York.
No, it doesn't
But
though.
it
It looks
doesn't.
very dark and emo.
It's like a yeah. Oh, this movie's. If you were an emo kid growing up, you will love this movie. This is super emo. And it's
right
good.
up our alley.
Yeah, it's good. It's dark humor to it, and I thought this movie is gorgeous. This is the type of movie I love. Film noir, I love it. I'm glad he's a fucking detective in this movie.
Yeah.
I've been missing that. It's one of my favorite parts of the games and like as Batman in general. I like the Batmobile, all that. It's great. The performances are good. Catwoman deserves to be in this movie. Unlike The Dark Knight Rises, she has an actual story, character arc.
Integral, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much everybody has like an arc, and I like it. It was good. It was good, and I have to agree. Like once it went on a little bit, and like towards the end, I was like, they didn't hit the climax.
No.
Like I was like, man, this movie might be just as good as The Dark Knight. I was like, this could be, but no, it didn't reach that mark. But I like what they're setting up, and I think it can be like the next movie, or like I don't know if they're doing a trilogy. I think it could be just as good, even better, because I like the style of this more than the Christopher Nolan ones,
I do too.
and in the 1980s one.
I mean, you know, I like the visual aesthetic of the Tim Burton ones a lot, and I like the way that it kind of looks like it's not realistic, and
Yeah.
it looks like it couldn't be the real world. It reminds me of like Batman the Animated Series, which I grew up on.
That's
And
definitely reminds
this
me
is
of that.
kind of like this is a little bit of everything, despite the fact that it's very grounded in reality. It has the feel of something that's very dark and mysterious. Like even in the beginning, he's like, "I'm not in the shadows. I am the shadows," you know, and like everything looks dark and it looks like the city
This
is
movie,
like,
this movie, there's no like daylight.
it's like
whatsoever.
two daylight scenes,
Yeah.
which I love too because this
Oh,
is
yeah.
very Batman. You know, it's all
Yeah.
at night. It's done very well, but yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, the ending.
The action was great too. I think.
It was. I
Yeah.
like the action. Like, there's a couple of sequences I'll talk about which one specifically
Mm-hmm.
stick out to me. But yeah. I mean, overall, it's a great Batman movie. I
Mm-hmm.
think Matt Reeves has a climax problem. I felt the same way with War of the Planet of the Apes, which
Mm-hmm.
was the last Planet of the Apes movie. It's just kind of like a wimpy ending, especially for like your last movie.
Yeah, I wanted this
So-
a certain thing, but we'll talk about in the spoilers, like what I wanted him to do with the Riddler. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about that.
And maybe they'll step it up for the sequel.
That's why I have. That's why I'm not too hard on it, because it's still a satisfying movie.
Yeah.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah.
So,
and I think overall, if like even if like maybe the climax wasn't all that action packed, I do think the story itself is so good.
yeah, it made sense what was going on.
Yeah.
But the impact of it wasn't there for me. Like the entertainment value or just watching it.
Normally, a climax is like when the movie is at its most exciting, and I feel like that happened like an hour before the end, probably. You know,
it had an early climax, and then it kind of like wanes.
Yeah,
like the resolution is it's too much of the resolution, I guess. But that's just a feeling, but it's not really happening like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this movie's great. You should definitely go see this movie.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Batman superhero movies, just detective movies,
good movies in general.
Yeah, just good movies in general. Even though it's almost 3 hours, it's still great. Go see it definitely. So we won't get into spoilers.
We're gonna get into spoilers. Talk about why I love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about first? Just the plot, or how about Robert Pattinson as Batman? How do you like? So this is year 2, right?
Yeah, he's like Batman. I guess he's 2 years into it. This is
a younger Batman. I mean, 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like he's younger than even Christian Bale's Batman, even though we saw Batman Begin.
Yeah,
I think it's because Christian Bale was older at the time. I think Pattinson is what, like 30 something now.
He's like 35. I looked it up.
Oh, really?
He's like
he just
looks young.
But he looks younger.
He has a young face, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of gives you that vibe that he's like younger and more unstable. I think that's why I like this version a lot too. It's like they never addressed that Batman's got like problems.
Oh, he has serious. This guy,
and it's front and center in this movie. How like this guy fucked up he is.
He's not likable at all. Like, he hates everything. He's super emo. Like,
I mean,
even
he's
Alfred,
a little likable.
A little bit at the beginning. He's an asshole to Alfred.
He reminds me of me.
Okay,
he's a misanthrope.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a lot of like faith in anyone or himself. And he's like really kind of like he doesn't even know why he's doing it. He's mostly just channeling anger.
Yeah. He's vengeance. Like,
yeah.
Oh, the beginning. Let's talk about I love the beginning.
That was sweet.
They're setting up like Batman. Like, there's a whole bunch of crimes going on. Somebody's it's a robbery, and like they put up the bat sign. And he's like, you like the narration that they do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
It's ominous. It's cool.
It reminded me of like just kind of like like other film noir movies, and like Blade Runner. I felt a Blade Runner feeling to this.
Yeah.
And I love Blade Runner. But in the beginning, they're showing like all these crimes being committed, and it's like he's talking about like using fear to just like scare them away, because when they see the bat signal, they know somebody's coming.
Yeah.
So I like how he's working with the police too, but they kind of hate him. But like that first scene where they fighting up the juggalos, he's fighting the juggalos.
The insane clown posse.
That's where it looked like. I love that scene. He just like slowly comes out.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's kind of like a monster. It seems like he's not a villain, but someone to be afraid of, and they really showed it. I like that.
Yeah, I like. I mean, if I could talk about the whole movie in general, I don't want to spoil too much like right now. But like essentially, the very beginning, there's a part where he beats up all these guys, like the insane clown posse, and one of them is like a scared kid who didn't even really want to be there.
No,
he's just kind of like backs off.
Yeah,
and says, bro, "Yo, beat up my friends."
I don't even like ICP like that. Man.
And he looks up at the bat signal. He's just like trembling. He's like terrified, and Pattinson looks at him and he's like, that's a moment where I think he realizes all I am is something that scares people.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of scared too. Like, damn.
Right, and I think one reason, this is the thing I really liked about this movie. I love when superheroes are just heroes. Like, they don't just do things because they want to beat somebody up. No. And this movie does such a good job of starting out Batman like that.
Yeah, he's just mad.
Yeah.
Just a frustration. Like, why is he doing all this?
Yeah, and then by the end of this movie, I mean, like, when everything, there's a lot that happens, we'll talk about it, but essentially, the very end of the movie, he finds himself having to just save people. Like, he's not beating up anybody anymore. He's beat up all the bad guys.
Yeah, he's like brutalizing that one guy. He's
Yeah.
like, why though? Why?
And all he can really do is help people get out of a situation. And I love that. I love Batman just helping the everyday civilian. Like that's kind of something I really love when superheroes do. I like it when Spider-Man does that.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah, that's what I think of first. Like he just just a hero trying to help everybody.
Yeah, and they even did that in No Way Home, where like he's like, yeah, I'm not just gonna fight all these villains and like send them to their deaths. I'm gonna try to help them. And
I mean, like that's his downfall at first, but it's understandable why he would want to do it. He's a good guy. I mean, you have to be selfless to be a fucking superhero. I ain't doing that shit.
Right.
You crazy, man. I mean, it'd be cool to have powers, but still, I gotta commend them for that.
And Batman doesn't even have powers. He's just
he's insane. This
just has
insane.
a credit card.
Yeah.
But I like at the end how he's no longer like focused on just beating people's asses. He's like, they actually see me as somebody who's like a symbol. I can be a symbol of hope, and I think it's
out of fear.
Yeah, and I thought it was really earned, this movie.
Yeah,
like the themes hit heavy, and I think that they delivered really well.
Euphoria. This is what we call a character arc. We don't just do this. We do this. Woo!
Hey, Sam Levinson knew that in season 1. I don't know what the fuck happened with this guy.
It was weird. That's what it just reminds me. Like it's good to see some progression. It could be negative or positive.
I think everybody, to some extent, had development in this movie. Every character.
I liked Catwoman in this a lot.
Oh yeah, she's great. Yeah.
This is what I was talking about. She's sexy, first of all, but not too sexy. Oh,
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, this
not too sexy.
That's your dream girl. One of your dream girls.
She is.
So she's like, ooh.
And they role play,
and they
perform the scene that I wish I could perform.
What, like breaking into the safe and Batman comes in?
You're breaking into the safe, huh? You're really good at that, aren't you? And then
and the tension was there, man.
Oh, they had chemistry, which is something that Christian Bale and Anne Hathaway did not have at all.
Nothing. And then they have Talia in it too.
Yeah,
it's just like you can focus just on that.
Their romance was done so well in this one.
Yeah, I was seeing, and I'm a harsh critic.
You hate romance,
especially when it's done bad. Like, because it's not necessary. Just have them be as a team. Don't have a romance. But this was done well.
It's done very well.
Yeah, and she had a purpose to be in this movie. She's trying to find her friend. And then eventually, you find out that Carmine. Wait, what's his name?
Carmine Falcone.
Yeah. That's her dad. Is that like in the comics?
It is. In this one,
okay.
Which is why I brought it out. This is Batman: A Long Halloween, and I don't know if like she's always Carmine Falcone's daughter, but in this one, it is like kind of implied throughout most of the movie, and then most of the comic, and then at the very end, there's a part where she tries to save him because he's her dad, and she has this like complicated relationship with him. Carmine Falcone is a huge character in this. Yeah. This actually everybody who gets like murdered in this book is like related to Falcone.
You see, I wish I knew more about it because I'm like, who was this guy?
He was in Batman Begins actually. He's Tom Wilkinson's character.
Yeah, in the beginning.
The guy who changed to the Bat Signal originally, right?
That's the Bat
that's
Signal. What I thought. I was like, oh, he's just
same character.
He's just like a low level. I mean, he's a mob boss, but he's just like it's a stepping stone to like the real villains like Riddler, Penguin, Joker. So but he's a big villain though.
I mean, he's not he's like a mob boss, but he's not anyone like you're never gonna see him in like an iconic. He's not an iconic villain, right? He's not like Scarecrow or Joker or whatever. Like, people aren't gonna recognize him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm so glad they introduced that storyline, and I guessed it. Not to brag, but as soon as she was like in the same room as him, I was like, okay. I had no idea. I knew it.
I was like, why does she care so much? And then it reveals that that's her dad. And she's a purpose in this movie. It's purpose why she's there. And like she wants to kill this dude badly.
Yeah.
And
and I believe it. Everything made sense, I guess, because like her friend, she reminded her of her mom, who also worked in the club and stuff.
And I was like, why does she? I mean, I understand she cares so much, but it makes sense.
It has a very deep personal connection to her. So, I love Zoe's performance in this.
She was great.
She
was almost like overshadowed Batman at times.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was strong female lead. I like it.
Yeah, and then even Gordon.
Oh yeah, well hold on, just 1 second. The last scene where they're like driving away in the motorcycles,
Man,
that was sweet.
it is cute.
Was cute.
It's like the most emo romance you
Yeah,
could possibly have.
they go there.
We're gonna meet in a graveyard, and then
imagine the tone of it.
Wait, no, this is how you do like a Batman Catwoman romance.
Yeah, they're not like, oh, I love you.
Yeah,
I like that. But yeah, so Commissioner Gordon, Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright. Yeah.
He's great. He's always great.
Yeah,
but he did great in this movie. I liked him a lot.
Yeah,
I think he is just as good as Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
like, and there's more movies to come because he was actually pretty comical in this, and
yeah, he was.
And I liked them as they worked good as a team. Like,
yeah,
he had his back, and I like Batman. He had Batman's back in this.
Yeah,
because in the movie he's already like established that he helps with the police, but most of the police force hate him like Batman. But Commissioner Gordon, he got his back. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and they have a cool dynamic. He's like you said, he is kind of comical at times, and I think there is a lot of dark humor in this movie, which I think
I love dark humor.
It was funny. But yeah, I love Gordon. I loved all the characters that they introduced. I like Penguin, even though Penguin's only in it for like a little bit.
He's my favorite
He's
villain.
just he's just played very well by Colin Farrell. Yeah. Honestly, like
I can't believe that's him, man.
Yeah, I kind of forgot it was
great
him.
makeup effects.
Yeah. I haven't seen like realistic looking like physical transformations like that in a while. Like maybe the Christian Bale Dick Cheney one sticks out to me, but man, yeah, he looked like he actually is just like an ugly fat guy.
And I love like guys like the sleazy mob boss that's like fat, balding, that is just like the worst human ever.
Yeah,
and just has their cronies do everything. But yeah, he was hilarious in this. And they had that one part when he's like tied up and like jumping like the like waddling on like a penguin. That was see like that. It's like it's not in your face like comedy. It's like kind of in the background. And you stick to the story and what's going on. It was done really well, I think.
Yeah, the comedy is mostly dark humor. Yeah. And it's very minimal, but I think it is funny. Some
levity to it.
Like the thumb drive thing.
Oh, yeah, the thumb, yeah.
There's one part where Riddler leaves behind a thumb drive, and it's literally like a USB attached to this other guy's thumb, like chained to it.
And then Gordon has to use the actual thumb to get into the computer.
Yeah.
That was great, yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny moment.
Who else? I mean,
we gotta talk about Riddler. Man.
Oh yeah, he's the main villain. Yeah, and I really like the Riddler, in terms of like as a villain. I actually kind of wanted the Riddler in the Dark Knight Rises instead of Bane. I don't know if that will actually work in the story, but I think I'd rather just have him than just have Bane in it. But let's talk about this movie. What you think of the Riddler?
I think it's interesting, and I brought this one out, Hush, because. They kind of combined the two characters together, Hush and Riddler, in this movie.
I was surprised he was wearing a mask. I was like, does he wear a mask? No. The Riddler? Yeah, it was weird to me.
Yeah, it's definitely a different version. And actually, I didn't even think of that. Like, when I was watching like the trailer originally, I was just like, wow, it looks like a different version of Riddler. But, they kind of say it like flat out in the movie. They even flashed the word Hush on the screen at one point. I was like, oh, that's why he looks like that. Mm-hmm. So, but essentially, like, Hush is, like, Batman's childhood friend who was, like, a surgeon, and he wanted to get revenge on Bruce Wayne because he always felt like, Bruce's dad is a surgeon, right? I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, they talk about it.
They do talk about, actually, in this movie.
Hippocratic oath. Yeah. He had to help out...
Carmine Falcone. Yeah, so anyway, there was, like, an accident that happened to Tommy Elliott's parents. Tommy Elliott is Hush, and Bruce's dad failed to save them. So he always had a grudge against... but then I think they revealed that he killed him. I don't know. It was a screwy story, but anyway.
That's what he's inspired by.
Yeah, I think this was very similar because like this version of the Riddler was like he wasn't the typical Edward Nygma that you normally see.
Yeah, that's why I usually thought of him. He was really different.
Yeah, and like this one, it was kind of similar. Like he blamed Thomas Wayne for his misfortune. So it's almost like they combined Hush and Riddler together to make this new version in the Batman, and it's pretty interesting. I like Dano's performance. There was a couple times it was kind of like it's a little bit overacting.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, I didn't love his performance, like especially towards the end when they take off the mask and he's like talking to him through the.
Yeah, I didn't really like that scene.
Yeah, it was just like it didn't do it for me. I don't know.
Yeah, he was just a little too like.
It's just too much.
It is too much, and I didn't need all that.
Like a little bit. Like when he was like doing it when he like through the phone. I think it was fine.
Yeah, he was creepy.
Yeah, it was still a good performance, but it didn't wow me like I thought it would.
Yeah.
So,
no Oscars for that one. I don't think.
No.
But and I've seen him do better acting in other movies.
Oh really? I've only seen him.
And saw There Will Be Blood, right?
No, I've never actually seen that movie, unfortunately.
I feel like he kind of like in that movie he just unsettles me a lot, and same with like I got even in this one, but just not to the degree I was expecting. Not like Heath Ledger's Joker or anything.
Yeah, it's
like
it's hard.
It's not as memorable.
Everybody lives in the shadow, like every villain. It's so sad though.
Yeah, it's
especially kind of like a similar, I guess, in tone of villain, kind of like insane.
Or
crazy.
If you're the Joker.
Yeah, or you're the Joker. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Wait. So what? Okay. So the plot of the movie. He's trying to the Riddler is trying to slowly expose the police force is working with the mob.
Yeah, not just the police force, but like the DA.
Yeah, oh yeah, everybody.
The mayor.
The whole entire city, basically. I'm sorry. All the good people in town.
Yeah, apparently everybody's corrupt.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. I thought they were going to go, you never heard of the Court of Owls, but I kept telling him after this movie, I was like, I thought they were going to go this route. Because the Court of Owls are kind of like a conspiracy, that like, Illuminati type thing.
That's cool. I see that.
All the rich people of Gotham basically just like control history in Gotham. It's pretty insane.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah. And in the comics, they probably would never do this in this grounded Matt Reeves Batverse, but like they like resurrect people from the dead and like brainwash them to become like these zombies that do their killing for them, so that like that's can't wild. Yeah, that's why it's so scary, because like they can't even be killed because they're already dead.
Damn.
It's like, yeah, it's scary. That's one of the best Batman comics I've ever read, and I think that one might end up being adapted somehow in this story. I think I read a couple interviews with like Pattinson and Kravitz, and they said they were like teasing it that it was even in this movie, and I was like, oh man, if it is, I was gonna lose my shit, but that didn't end up happening.
Unfortunately, yeah. That sounds great though. I would love that.
Yeah,
I love like secret organizations.
It's so everything's like a conspiracy. Yeah, I thought they were heading that direction with this story, but they end up just being like, everyone's corrupt, and then even like Thomas Wayne essentially covered up stuff about Martha Wayne. I guess her mother killed her father, and Martha went to a mental institution.
Yeah, so like he wanted to protect the family name. Yeah,
because he was running for mayor.
Yeah, it's nothing too crazy. Like he's not like a bad, evil guy, but it's still like a gray area because he didn't have him killed, but still he sent a mob boss to him. Yeah. So I like that they're not like peachy clean, because they're portrayed like that a lot.
Yeah, they
as
are.
like the greatest people of all time in the Nolan movies. A lot. So I like that. And then Batman in this, he's doing it mostly. Out of like just anger, but doing it for his dad. Yeah. Mostly. So, but it just like changes after he finds out like what he was really doing. He's not like the greatest person ever. So he starts doing it just to save the people, for him to like think about himself more.
It's a very satisfying arc.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I was like, okay, I see where they're going with that. I like that. That was very satisfying, and it was interesting. All the the puzzles. I mean the riddles. What was the first one actually?
The first one. So he kills the mayor with that thing.
Oh,
and then,
brutal.
Which we end up finding is to remove carpet from a. I like that. I was like, what the fuck was that thing? I'm glad they told me, because like I was like, what is that thing for? It's some tool. The Riddler kills this guy with at the beginning, the mayor. I don't know if you noticed too, but like when the mayor got killed, like there's like his son there, and Batman kept like kind of looking at him. Yeah. He saw like I think himself, obviously. Yeah, an orphan kid. Whatever. I like that. That was like a common thing throughout the movie too. It kept showing up. But he kills the mayor, leaves behind a clue about
the thumb drive thing. Yeah, and then they put it in and they show the Catwoman's friend with the mayor, and they're trying to find the girl, and they find out that they kill her. So
it's really like Riddler like leading him through all these clues. Like he's kind of like, and then in the interrogation scene, I kind of liked it. He's like, we did it together. Like that was creepy. I was like, Because
I mean,
I thought
he basically did. Yeah, he's the muscle. Batman's the muscle. And the Riddler's the mind. He could have done it without him, really.
That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I like that. I know. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah. So it was a cool like cat and mouse chase, and I kept wondering where it was gonna go. And
I really liked when the funeral and like they drives the car. I love scenes like that where it's like it's a bomb situation. You gotta answer questions.
He was having him solve riddles in 2 minutes or something, or a bomb would go off,
and just exposing him to be like just a terrible, corrupt person.
Yeah,
and he refused to tell the truth. The guy that had the bomb on him, and he would rather die. I was like, damn, that's
crazy.
Fucked up.
Yeah. That was very Riddler to me too. Like, solve this riddle or I'll blow you up.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's a very different version of Riddler, but that moment I was
more like explosive, like, you know.
Yeah. I could see him like just trying to trick people and say, hey, if you don't solve this, you're gonna fucking die. That's what Riddler does and everything I've seen him do. Yeah. You know, he like keeps hostages and
it's just a game to him.
Yeah, he just likes to fuck with people, you know. He's not like this guy exposing secrets or whatever, but I did like this version. I thought that it was, and you know, his motivations make sense. Mm-hmm. You know, he had no one. He's like, grew up in this orphanage that Thomas Wayne, you know, like when he died, like it got neglected, right? It got left behind. So he felt left behind. I get that. It's like, in his own psychotic way, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Wait, what was I want to say about that? Also, so he used social media. I don't know what website he's on. He kind of like uses social media to like get like a following.
Yeah.
And like he has like 500 people following him. So he's like planning to do like shoot the mayor at the end. Oh, I like how like at the end they thought he was captured, and then he starts blowing up vans around the city, and he breaks like
a dam and floods it. Yeah.
Floods the city. I thought that was a great like end to like, you know, like the master plan for him, like destroy the city and like kind of almost like accomplish it.
Yeah, almost.
But Batman like still saves everybody, so I thought it was a really good plan. But the climax where he's like the last fight scene, I wanted a Riddler, like a huge Riddler puzzle.
Yeah,
like where Batman has to figure that out, or everybody fucking dies.
Yeah,
something like that would have been cool.
Because that's the thing it's tough about, like, you know, Batman versus Riddler, and he points it out in the interrogation part. He's like, not interrogation, but the part where he visits him in Arkham, he's like, you're muscle, I'm not, right? You're physicality, I'm not. So it's like, I almost wish Matt Reeves would have just focused on that for the climax. Just said, you know what?
That's what I thought,
make this climax like Batman outsmarting the Riddler.
And you've been doing this throughout the whole entire movie with detective work. I'm fine with that. I don't need a whole bunch of action. And the action scenes we did get was great. We'll talk about it in a second. The chase scene. But yeah, I agree. They should have had that. I think that could have made like this movie like way better.
It really would.
And it makes sense for the Riddler's character.
Yeah, it's just a couple notches below The Dark Knight, mostly for that reason, because at least The Dark Knight, like, I mean, the ending of The Dark Knight has a lot of thematic tension, too. It's not just, like, Batman getting into a huge fist fight, because, yeah, he fights the Joker in that one scene, it's a great fight, but what's good about it is that he set up Harvey Dent to be, like, a killer. Mm-hmm. So then the tension is more in, like, oh, it's not a fight scene. You're just wondering what's going to happen. Yeah. Is the philosophical battle that's been going this whole movie, who's gonna win? They could have done something like that with the Riddler, like who's gonna win this battle of wits, you know? And it just seems like at the end of the day, it's almost like Riddler still won because he almost got everything he wanted, except that, you know,
I don't know why he was so disappointed. He didn't kill the mayor. Yeah, I mean, he already killed one mayor. What's another one? To be honest, like it's fucked up to say, but he did pretty good for a villain. Yeah. It's pretty fucked up. Yeah. And the city is kind of almost destroyed.
And I do like that Batman was, like, saving people at the end. Like, I like that his mission went from beating up people to saving people.
Yeah, he could have died, like, cutting the wire at the end to save all the people in the water. Yeah,
exactly. It's messianic. It's very superhero-y. Mm-hmm. But I just wish that, like, instead of, like you said, like, maybe the Riddler set up a trap and was going to kill a bunch of people, he had to outsmart him to save them.
I would love doing those in the game. Like, and that could have been, like, the ultimate. like something had that walls like a maze or something
Yeah.
like that, like rats. I don't know.
Yeah, he already did a lot of that stuff in this movie.
Yeah, it could have been like in a big scope.
Yeah,
that's what I was waiting for. I was really anticipating that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so sadly we didn't get that. Maybe we'll get that in a future movie. But like the climax,
this was your chance to do it though.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
it was a big one.
It's a mistake.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I like this movie, but that's a big missed opportunity. Like,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, because like the scene where he's fighting all his like Riddler's followers. It felt like just a mid-battle scene.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you fight the minions in the game. It just felt like that.
Yeah.
And it was alright. But
we needed a boss fight.
Yeah, we needed that boss fight, man. Boss scene. Man. I wanted the villains in Batman. That's why it's my favorite, because they're so great. And I want it to be fully showcased at its best.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it was a missed opportunity for sure. But I mean, this is in no way a failure. It's a great movie.
I'm not saying it's terrible. But
yeah,
it's just kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it could have been much better. And honestly, it probably could have been the best Batman movie if the climax was good. Man,
I'm telling you, the look of it. This is what I wanted. This is what was missing for me in the other movies.
Yeah, we just watched the Nolan trilogy recently, and like, there's no style. No, really. There's a little bit in the Dark Knight.
There's some good shots.
Yeah,
you know, he's like standing after he loses. Rachel.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Yeah, there's great shots, of course. Great scenes, great like action scenes. But the consistent look of this movie, I love it.
Oh, it's so good.
That's Batman to me. That's what I think of, and I appreciate that they did that.
Yeah, the shadows, the rain, everything.
I even like the rain. I hate rain, but
it works for this song.
Yeah, it's not raining 24/7. Also, I do like. I mean, like we were talking about the detective work. And also the espionage, going inside the club with Catwoman. She's like undercover.
Oh, I love that part.
And the eye thing.
Yeah, he has a thing that records everything.
The contact.
Like a contact lens.
That's so cool. That is so, man, I love that shit, man. It makes me want to play the games.
Yeah.
And that is so cool. I wish they put that, I hope they put that in like a game so I could play it. But I love that so much. Yeah. It was awesome.
I'm really excited to see what future gadgets he gets too, because they only did a little bit in this one. I kind of like that. I kind of like it doesn't show everything that he could do, because he's still kind of young.
Pieces up. Yeah.
And it was weird too, he didn't even have like batarangs. He had one batarang
right there
in his chest.
It's cool, but
I thought that was weird.
He felt underpowered in terms of like gadgets, but like it's gonna be more movies, there's gonna be progression. So I'm thinking like, oh, he seems like he doesn't have as much as I thought. But I'm used to the other movies.
Yeah, where he's been around for a few years.
Speaking of that scene with the car chase, one of the best car chase scenes I've ever seen. Yeah. It was intense. It's like he's trying to get to Penguin, and it's like all like straight up close up shots, like on the side, and it's like adrenaline throughout the whole entire thing. Like, it's raining, you can't see shit. That's how I feel this scene is how I feel when I drive in the rain. I hate it. It's fucking terrifying. And then like he like blows up the 18-wheeler, and he goes over.
Batman goes up a ramp and it goes right. Man, that's so bad, man. It was cool.
Also, the start of the scene, like they introduced the Batmobile. What you think of it?
Oh, the Batmobile. That was so cool.
I like it way more than the Nolan one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like just like a muscle car. Yeah. It doesn't look like something that's gonna be like a tank that can take out, like another tank. And I mean, there's something about the Nolan car. It's cool. The first time I saw it,
it still looks cool. I like the motorcycle more.
Oh yeah.
He drives a motorcycle. It kind of just looks like he just pieced up a whole bunch of different parts and started, driving around with the muscle car.
Yeah,
Batmobile. I like that a lot.
That's what I like too. It's a lot more DIY. Mm-hmm. It's not as like I like that because this Batman isn't really. He's not like the Nolan Batman. He's not as confident, in himself. I mean, he even like when he glides for the first time.
Oh yeah, so
parachutes and has a horrible landing.
Yeah. All right, that looked stupid, but I think it's gonna get. It looked bad. I don't know. It could have made it look cool because they made the Batmobile look cool.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I'll let it go as long as it gets better in the next movies. As long as he doesn't keep that. If he keeps that, I'll be pissed.
It did look pretty.
But cheesy. he does fuck it up, so it probably is like meant to look bad.
Yeah.
I think it's meant to look bad since he like fucking almost dies.
It is funny. It's like I wasn't expecting it either, but like he like pulls a parachute like 10 feet off the ground and just like wipes out. Hilarious. I was not expecting that from this movie, but
that chase scene, perfect.
So good.
Great. It was one of my favorite.
I even just like the intensity of all the fight scenes. I mean, even if they're not as like long and like he doesn't. I do hope that
the intensity is there. Like he looks like he's actually beating.
It looks like he's beating the shit out of people. Yeah. I do hope at some point we get a physical villain. You know,
that's what I want to. Yeah.
Because I did like the Riddler thing, but I wish like
there's really no physical villains in this.
Yeah, no. So I hope that in the future they get somebody like with a little bit of muscle. If it's not like Deathstroke, somebody that can match Batman in combat. I think that'd be sweet.
Yeah, you probably like need somebody. Strength and also the mind.
Yeah,
that's a good combination.
I mean, like Bane was pretty good for The Dark Knight Rises in that sense. So like he's like a match for Batman, and I like their fight a lot too.
It was good. Yeah.
So I mean, whatever villain they choose going forward, I do hope to see that because that is a cool thing. We didn't really get a lot of that. He was mostly beating up like thugs in this one. Yeah, unfortunately, it
wasn't like who was fighting wasn't special, but the fights were good. Especially
they were.
The scene where it's complete darkness and they're shooting, you like that a lot.
I love that scene. Yeah. I mean, it's in the trailer, unfortunately, but it's so cool. Like he's like fighting all these guys in a hallway, and you can barely see it except when they shoot their machine guns, and it's like only lit by their machine. That is cool as fuck.
It's funny. They did that in Resident Evil, and it was not even close to being that good. It wasn't scary. It was done so well in this movie. Most of the action scenes are good. Even like the climax one is decent.
Yeah.
But the weight of it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like you're saying it's just some minions.
It's more of an emotional triumph for Batman.
Yeah.
I do like in the moment where he beats up the one Riddler guy. Oh yeah. He like gets to inject himself with like
Venom probably. If you think
it might be this universe's version.
It's like adrenaline. It's adrenaline.
But it was essentially like adrenaline, and it kind of just made him like really angry and kind of berserk.
It makes him realize what he's doing.
Yeah, because the Riddler guy takes off his mask and says, "I'm vengeance," and he's like, "You appropriated my phrase."
I have copyright with that.
I like that moment a lot. I was like, "Damn!" Like that hit me.
How's he different? Because like the Riddler was saying, "You helped me out." He could have done about it.
Right.
You got to separate yourself from the bad guys. Like you were saying, he was trying to teach.
He was trying to teach Selina that, and like he didn't even know the lesson himself. Mm-hmm. And I like that he ends up having to learn it at the end of this movie. Through like just seeing that guy say that, it kind of just like woke him up. Like, holy shit! Like I can't be like these people.
Yeah.
It's such a satisfying emotional arc for Batman. So I think, if anything works in this movie, it's the story. Like the story is very theme heavy, and I think it delivers honestly. Yeah. And nothing feels like it's like out of place. Like the Catwoman story, the Penguin part of it, it's all part of the larger plot.
And their Penguin's gonna be like taking over since like it's his opportunity to take over the city.
Yeah, because Falcone gets shot.
Yeah, he was the underling. I didn't know that. I thought he was like always the main boss. I like that though.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
and I loved how they set it up. It was great. And then they set up the Riddler. He's in Arkham.
No, this is the worst part of the movie.
Uh-oh.
He's in Arkham Asylum. And he's talking about how he failed. And as soon as he started hearing a voice talking to him in one of the other cells, I knew who it was. And, I'd heard that this Barry Keoghan guy, I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I heard that he was going to be in the movie like a while ago. I forgot about it because I was like, I didn't even, he wasn't in the movie until the very last second. You can barely recognize him anyway, but somebody starts talking to him through the cell and says, "Oh, you failed? Well, maybe it'd be better if you had a friend." And he does a laugh, and his face is all fucked up. You can kind of barely see it. But
yeah, at first I thought it was Two-Face, but it's everybody's favorite superhero,
the Joker. So
yet another Joker. That's the third one we got in like 6 years. It's so sad though.
So sick of Joker.
That's so sad though. He's like my favorite villain.
Bro, he's one of the best.
I think he's the best.
He is a great antithesis to Batman. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying Batman has one of the best rogues gallery, and you can see them all in this book. Batman Hush, where he literally goes to everybody. Look, there's Poison Ivy, right? I open up to like a
Poison
different
Ivy.
page.
I wanted Poison Ivy.
There's like a different Batman villain that they go to. Here's Harley,
Mad Hatter.
right? Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
That's another
I'm
one.
just trying to think of
Killer Croc.
Yeah.
There's all like they're all in this book, man, and Ra's al Ghul and like
Dragonfly, right? Dragonfly.
Firefly.
There you go, that guy.
Firefly.
There's a fly in there.
So I just don't get it. I just don't get why
Harley Quinn.
they keep going back to Joker every time. I get he's iconic and stuff, but it's like now, like literally within the span of what, like 5 years, we've had 3 different versions.
Yes.
I think, right? Because we had Jared Leto, you have Joaquin Phoenix, who
is he really a Joker?
not even really the Joker, and
Yeah.
then you have now Barry Keoghan or whatever.
Look,
Why, man?
I'm okay with it as long as they do it justice. Okay, justice, not vengeful. Okay, yeah. I'm hoping. Okay, but I am tired of it too.
I'm just fatigued, man.
Yeah.
I'm fatigued. And Batman has like the best. That's what really gets me.
You see, I don't know I don't know now. I don't have the knowledge like you, so it's like I just know what I know. Okay,
Bro, all his villains are so good.
Yeah.
Like, he's got so many great villains. Like, I mean, like, they do have Penguin in this movie, too, so it's weird they would even mention Joker when they are clearly setting up the Penguin.
Yeah, that's
You know?
yeah. I didn't actually. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
That is
He
kinda
should be like
odd.
later on.
Yeah,
Hopefully he's not the main. Maybe he's not the main villain, but it's the Joker. They're gonna make him the main.
yeah.
But
Like, Mr. Freeze or Bane, you have all these great
what's
options.
the shape-shifting guy? Shifting guy? That like the clay guy.
Clayface!
Yeah, Clayface. That'd be
He's
cool.
never even been in a movie.
That would've been cool.
He's not gonna fit into, I don't think, this universe
I don't know,
either.
but yeah, but I would love to see something because like there's such cool villains. I know it doesn't really work in the gritty, realistic one.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it. Like try to make it work.
I did read that, like, interview with Matt Reeves, and he was saying he did want to try to adapt Mr. Freeze in their universe. And I was kind of like,
Gotta get
How
Arnold
would
back.
they do
You gotta
that?
get Arnold back.
no, it definitely wouldn't be that. And
Yeah.
it's like, but I don't know how they would make that work. Because he was even saying, like, oh, I gotta make it a grounded thing. He's like, I think there's something there with, like, the Nora storyline. Because, you know, like, Mr. Freeze's wife is, like,
trying to
frozen.
bring her back, yeah.
Yeah, I get all that. That works. And I mean, I think Mr. Freeze is one of the best Batman villains for that reason.
He's cool, yeah.
But it's like, I just...
After seeing this, I think he can make it work. He did it with this, but I guess he did more like grounded.
Yeah,
villains.
nothing really happened in this movie that was like fantastical. And a guy that freezes people.
Maybe
I mean,
he
I don't
did-
know if does he just not freeze people anymore?
I guess not. It's just like turns up the AC. Like,
Yeah,
it's really cold.
he
It's
just
like, man.
he goes to everybody's house and just turns up the thermostat.
Yeah, that's evil. That's evil. Now bring back my wife. I don't really see that, but hopefully they do that. I want them to get wild. I want some other villains other than the Joker.
Yeah,
But I look forward to the next movies a lot.
I do too.
And
Yeah, I think,
I think it's gonna be great. Hopefully.
yeah,
And oh, let's not forget one of the best parts of this movie, the score. Is
Oh,
fucking
I almost forgot to mention it.
Yeah, I don't want to forget that. It's great.
Michael Giacchino is the guy's name,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess he did like Spider-Man: No Way Home, and he did a lot of Pixar movies like The Incredibles too. And but yeah, the music in this one hooked me in right away.
Oh, it was haunting. It sounded like the old school Batman.
Yeah,
And, like even the animated series. I was listening to the intro. It has that feel to it.
it does. Yeah,
And I mean, the first scenes, like the first days, like Halloween. I like that.
yeah.
I like the creepy feel.
It
to
puts you in a mood. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even like they incorporated.
And they use it so well. Go ahead.
Yeah, they incorporate Nirvana, which is weird.
That was weird. Yeah.
I didn't know if that always it worked. I guess the first time.
Yeah, I don't know why they did it second time.
But in the end, when like everything is a little bit brighter and happier, they put in something in the way, which is like one of the
Yeah.
most melancholy Nirvana songs
it was weird.
out there.
I like the first time they did.
Yeah, the first time it worked perfectly because the mood was already like really
Mm-hmm.
dark. But beyond the Nirvana incorporation, though, like the score, man,
Great. I was listening to it before you came home. It was good.
Yeah.
But by itself, go listen to it. It's
yeah,
great.
like I remember distinctly when Catwoman gets on her bike, like there's like a high piano keys
Mm-hmm.
playing, just something really creepy and building the tension. She's gonna go kill Falcone.
Feels like a horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And honestly, a lot of the elements of this movie felt like a horror movie with like
I love
Riddler
horror.
and
Yeah.
and Batman and horror. They work so well together.
Mm-hmm.
Like Arkham Asylum. That whole thing is basically like horror.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it just everything about this movie cinematically was so good. But yeah,
Yeah, it's a great movie. You should definitely go see it.
we gotta give this thing a score.
All right. I guess I'll go first. Man, so I look back. I gave Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man when it came out. I still do. I gave it 8.5. If they had the climax, if it really hit home, it could have been like close to a 10. Oh, man, the look of this movie, they're so close. But the Riddler at the end, and his performance is all right. Like I said, the climax. I like it just about the same as Spider-Man, but I think I prefer this movie more.
I do prefer this movie more than Spider-Man 2, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it a 9 for now. Okay,
Ooh.
it has potential. Because I appreciate what they're doing with this. I don't know if it can go up past that though. Now the next movie, it could be one of my favorites, like this trilogy. I don't know if they're doing a trilogy.
I think Matt Reeves is planning a trilogy.
Yeah. So I love this type of movie, and I'm glad they did this. And Robert Pattinson,
yeah,
he did great.
He's gonna shut up the haters because this is a pretty good performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music, the cinematography, the look is consistent throughout. Yeah, I'll give it a 9 because I think I like Batman's more my type of hero than Spider-Man, and I like this movie a little bit more, just a little bit. So 9 for me.
Yeah, I mean this one definitely over Spider-Man has a lot more of a cinematic vision. Like there's clearly like Matt Reeves knew what he wanted the tone to be like, and he doesn't have to fit into the Marvel universe or anything, so he doesn't have to make it atonal in like the way it looks and sounds, which is a big criticism of Marvel movies I have.
Yeah,
right.
And also he has the baggage of like not so great movies. And the past, the Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, they kind of like downgraded the movie for me.
Yeah, so I mean, this is definitely a very, what I love about this movie is it's like a singular vision. You can tell there was no like studio interference, none of that shit. They just let Matt Reeves go wild, and I think he clearly had this project and it was a passion project, and he knew what he wanted to make. It's a very good movie. So I give it. I think, like you said, climax is kind of low. But
I thought the ending was still good.
Thematically, it's very good.
Yeah.
The themes are always in this movie very good.
That's why I
the arcs are very good.
I give it to him. Yeah,
I'm gonna give it 8.5. Just a little bit under what I expected, but
yeah,
still
that's
very
fair.
good.
That's fair.
Yeah, still a very good movie. So
if it could have like got that ending, I think it could have been a 10.
Yeah,
for me, or even 9.5.
I could definitely see myself watching this again. Like,
oh yeah, I would want to watch it just for the music alone. It's the shots, just some scenes, great.
It's atmosphere.
Yeah, I love that. I love that feeling. But yeah, that's our score. Great movie. Happy to see it.
Best movie of 2022.
And
I mean, not a lot of competition.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't know what our next movie is gonna be. I don't like the Northman. I think
probably the Northman. Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let us know what you think of the Batman, and we'll see you in the next dimension. Peace.